Hello there, it's Anna here and welcome to Little Crochet Farm. Today we are crocheting together this baby elephant. I love the result, I found it super cute and I hope you like it too. For this baby elephant amigurumi, you will need a 8mm crochet hook, chenille yarn, sports weight yarn for embroidering the face, stuffing material, sewing needles, and scissors. All the detailed information about the materials I use for this amigurumi you can find in the free version of the written pattern on my website. The link is in the description box below this video as well as in the first comment. But if you wish to download a printable version of this pattern, you can find on my Etsy shop and on my Ravelry shop. Or you can join my Patreon membership, and there you will have access to download the printable version of the patterns that I publish on this YouTube channel and on my website. So if you join my Patreon today, you'll be able to download a printable version of this baby elephant amigurumi, as well as all the future amigurumi patterns that I will be publishing here on this YouTube channel and on my website. So if that sounds interesting to you, check out my Patreon page. The link is in the description box below this video, and I hope to see you there. Now, I'm gonna move myself to the corner over here, and let's start crocheting this baby elephant together. We'll start here with a magic ring or a magic circle. I try to shoot all of my videos very slow, but if you are unable to understand the magic ring from this video, you can check out a complete tutorial only talking about the magic ring, alright? And inside the magic ring, we will work 6 single crochet. Let's work here first. For the first round, I'm working with the single crochet, grabbing the yarn over the needle. Okay, and you will see from the second round, I start grabbing the yarn under the needle. That is because when we are working with the chenille yarn, we want our stitch tension to be very tight, so we don't have stuffing material coming out of your toy, okay? But I will explain better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Now let's close this magic ring and move on for the second round. For the second round, you will work 6 increases. That means you will work 2 single crochet inside 1 stitch. All right? So you can see here, this is what I want to show you. This is when you grab the single crochet with the yarn over the needle, and this is under the needle. Right? It's self-explained. Under the needle, and that's it. That is only the difference when you work the single crochet from over the needle and under the needle. Now I'll add here my stitch marker. I like to add my stitch marker on the last stitch of the round. So I start from the round on. And continue here working the increases, all right? Showing you one more time, we are grabbing the yarn under the needle. We want a very tight tension for these stitches. Okay, now you work all the way around here, and once you're done, this is how it should be looking like. I also like to show you one thing here. I like to double secure the beginning of my thread. So how I do this is just by grabbing a sewing needle and I weaving the beginning of the yarn inside the first stitches, okay, the first round. And that's it. Now we make sure that this will not unravel. This will not go anywhere. Let's attach here our stitch marker and move on for the third round. For the third round, you'll work 1 single crochet, 1 increase. You will repeat this 6 times or all the way until the end. And you should have a total of 18 stitches at the end of this round. Count how many stitches you have, okay, at the end of every round. So here you see first 1 stitch and increase, 1 stitch, 1 increase, 1 stitch, 1 increase, repeat all the way until the end. Once you're done, now let's move on for the round number 4. Here you will work 2 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat 6 times or all the way until the end, and you should have 24 stitches at the end of this round. So here we work together the first repetition. I'm finishing my increase. And let me show you here. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and the increase, okay? Repeat all the way until the end, and I will catch you up for the next round. Super good. Now we are working here a couple of increases, so we have the length of the head that we are working now, and for the round 5 to 7, you will work just 24 single crochet. So this is super easy. Now it's time to relax. You work your rounds here on repetition. And once you're done, this is how it should be looking like. We have some sort of shape over here. Now we will move on for the next round. For round number 8, you will work 12 decreases. For amigurumi, we work invisible decrease, which means you will grab only the front loop of the yarn and work your single crochet. So you grab only the front loop of the next 2 stitches and you work your decrease. If you don't know how to work the invisible decrease, there is also a video tutorial on my YouTube channel that shows you how to work the invisible decreases. And you work all the way around. Once you're done, we are starting to crochet the body. So the body is a bit different. Here, you see a stitch have 2 loops, the front loop and the back loop. For the next round, round number 9, we will grab just the front loop, alright? So for round number 9, you will grab the front loop only and you will work 3 single crochet, 1 bobble, 4 single crochet, 1 bobble, and 3 single crochet. Okay, so you grab just the front loop and work your single crochet over here. So let's work 3 front loop only single crochet and we will start working the bobble. Alright, so we work here 3 single crochet. For the bobble stitch, you'll work yarn over the needle, inside the front loop, yarn over the needle, pull up a loop, yarn over the needle, inside the 2 loops from your needle. Okay, let's do it again. Yarn over the needle, inside the front loop, yarn over the needle, pull up a loop, yarn over the needle, inside the first 2 loops of your needle. And you will repeat this 5 times. So basically what we are working here for the bobble stitch is unfinished double crochet. So you will have 5 unfinished double crochet and we will do the bobble stitch. So let's continue here, all the 5 repetition. So here we are. You have the loop of your needle, right? And you have 5 loops over here, which is the 5 repetitions we work. Now, yarn over the needle and pull this loop all over the 6 loops inside of your needle, okay? And you're done. You have your bobble stitch. Continue moving with the pattern here. You will work single crochet, grabbing only the front loop, okay? So following the pattern now, you have to work 4 front loop single crochet, 1 bobble, and 3 front loop single crochet. So work your repetitions here and I will catch you up for the next round. Look at this. Super cute. So for round number 10, you will work 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat 6 times or all the way around, and you should have a total of 18 stitches at the end of the round. Okay? And here we are back again on grabbing the 2 loops of the stitch. Alright, so we are working normally here. So here's my single crochet, increase, work all the way around, and I will catch you up for the next round. We'll stop here a little bit to add stuffing material. As bigger the amigurumi start to get, harder it is to add stuffing material, so add here, and we will move on for the next round. So we are almost done with this elephant. For round number 11, you will start chaining 4, okay? This is because in this round we will work the paws and the tail. Okay, now we are working the tail. So 4 chains here, and now you will work 3 slip stitches. Okay, so just work your slip stitch here. You can see that I'm working on the 3rd loop of the chain, but that's optional to you. You can grab normally whichever loop of the chain you want. Once you're done, you have here this tiny little tail. And we will move on with the pattern. Here you will work 6 single crochet, and then you will work one front loop bobble stitch, 5 single crochet, and you will repeat this one more time. So let's go slow here. Now I'm working the 6 single crochet all the way until we start working the bobble stitch. Okay, so we have now 6 single crochet over here, and let's work the bobble stitch. For the bobble stitch in this round, you will work front loop. So you're grabbing normally the both loops of the stitch when you're working the single crochet, but when you're working the bobble stitch, you'll grab just the front loop. That's because we want the bubble to be standing outside, okay? So I'll work here the first bubble with you. And you'll work 1 bubble, 5 single crochet, 1 bubble, 5 single crochet, okay? If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. I always try to catch up and respond as many comments as possible. Okay, so we have here now 6 loops on our needle. And let's close this bobble stitch. Now we work 5 single crochet, and here we are back on grabbing both loops of the stitch. So remember, for this round number 11, you work with both loops when you're working single crochet, and when you are working bobble crochet, you work with grabbing just the front loop, all right? Once you're done, this is how it should be looking like. Is this tail? Look at this, so cute. Great, now we go for the last round of this elephant amigurumi, and for this one we will work 12 decreases. And that's it, and we are done. So you know already how to work the decrease. Just grab the front loop of the next 2 stitches and you continue working a single crochet. All right, so repeat this all the way around and I will catch you up so we can fasten off. Good. Now that we finished here, we will finish adding stuffing material. You can cut your yarn here, leaving a space for sewing. You don't need to leave too many. Well, not sewing, but fastening off. And add here the amount of stuffing material you want. Once you're done, for fastening off, you take a sewing needle and you start grabbing just the front loop of the stitch, okay? So you have 12 stitches at the end of the round, right? You'll grab just the front loop of those stitches to fasten this off. So I will speed it up here a little bit. And once you're done grabbing all the front loops, you pull it tight and that's it. The amigurumi toy is closed. You can wave in a couple of times here on the last round, so you wave in inside the stitches, and once you're done you can just hide this yarn inside. What I like to do is I leave this a little bit out, and later on when I'm sewing the other parts, the other limbs of the amigurumi, I just tie that a knot. Now let's move on. Here we start working the ears, okay? So here we have 2 different patterns because we are working the right ear and the left ear. So starting with the right ear, you will work inside the magic ring 4 single crochet. Okay? So let's work here 4 single crochet. It's very simple. The ears, we only have 3 rounds to start here with, okay? 3 rounds and you're done with the ear. We are near to the end of this elephant, baby elephant, so cute. So, all right, you work here 4 single crochet. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's pull this tight. Close here the magic ring. And what we're going to do here, we will chain 1 and turn. We are working the ears with rows instead of rounds. So chain 1, turn, and for the next round, you will work 4 increases. Okay, so at the end here, you should have 8 stitches at the end of this row. So that's what's going to happen. At the end of the row, chain 1, turn, at the end of the row, chain 1, turn. Okay, so let's work here together for this ear. It's very easy, you'll see. And it's super charming because you have this left over here without sewing. Great. For the third round, we will work a little bit different, okay? So here is what differ the left ear and the right ear, all right? So for the right side, which is the one that we are working now, you'll chain 1, turn, and you'll start working 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and you will repeat 3 times, okay? So let's work here together, 1 single crochet and 1 increase. So do this repetition 3 times, you'll be left with 2 stitches at the end of this row. And we will catch up here for what we're gonna do last. All right, so we reach here. Now for the next stitch, you will work 1 double crochet, okay? So here is the different part. 1 double crochet, and on the last stitch, you will work 1 increase double crochet. So we will work 2 double crochet inside this stitch. This is great. Now what's gonna happen is you will chain 2 and you will join with a slip stitch inside this last stitch that you work the 2 double crochet. Okay? So work your slip stitch here. You can pull this loop a little bit and we have the right side. Now let's cut this tail, leaving a little bit of room for sewing later. And let's start working the left side, okay? Here is very simple. What I like to do when I'm done with details like this is to grab the yarn and pull it to the wrong side, okay? So this is how it should be looking like. For the left side, you will work the first and the second round the same, and the third round is a bit different. So once you work first and second round, you will have this piece like this. You will chain 2 this time, turn your work, and you work here on the first stitch 1 increase double crochet. So let's work here, 1 increase double crochet. So this is the first, and this is the second. Now you work 1 double crochet. And for the remaining stitch, you will work 1 increase, 1 single crochet, and you'll repeat 3 times, or you'll repeat all the way until the end. So here is my single crochet increase and the single crochet. So now you repeat this 3 times or all the way until the end, and you will have the left side. So what we are doing here, which is the different, is the parts with a double crochet should be hanging here on its face, all right? So when we are sewing, we sew all the way until the middle here, and we'll left hanging these parts with a double crochet. So this is the difference between the right side and the left side, and that's why we crochet them separately instead of just turning them. So we have both right side facing front. All right, now let's move on here and start crocheting the trunk. For the trunk, you will again crochet 4 single crochet inside the magic ring. All right, so let's go slow with the trunk. Because it's a small detail, we will put a lot of stitches one on top of the other. So let's start here slowly, okay? So inside the magic ring, let's crochet 4 single crochet. And just a reminder here, we are using the yarn over the needle, the single crochet with yarn over the needle for the first round. After that, we are grabbing the yarn under the needle, okay? So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. You pull it tight, the beginning of your yarn, and move on for the second round. So now we're going to work the length here, the size of the trunk. So for round 2 to 4, you will work just single crochet, okay? I want to work the first round here with you because I want to show one thing that usually happens when the detail is very small and there is a bigger amount of stitches in a small detail, all right? So let's work here the first 4 single crochet, and this is what you want to show. You see, the stitches tend to be on the wrong side because the tension of the yarn, the tension of the stitch is tight, so it's pulling the wrong side out. So you need to just organize, make the right side be out, and you see how it's changed the shape already, right? It's one on top of the other and the right side is facing out. So here now you continue working. So we worked the round 2, you'll work the round 3 and 4. So it's just single crochet, and I will catch you up for the next round where we are going to do a little bit different, okay? So now here you can work your next 2 rounds, only single crochet, and I will catch you up for round number 5. Super good. Once you're done, this is how it should be looking like. That's very nice. What we are going to work here now, it's 4 increases. So inside each stitch of this round, you will work 2 single crochet, okay? At the end, you'll have 8 stitches. Once again, count how many stitches you have at the end of each round. This can help you, this can save you a lot of time. And especially when the detail is super small, you tend to not to see the stitches. It's very easy to get lost a little bit. So count how many stitches, add your stitch marker, thing that I didn't do here, because usually when it's just a short amount of stitches, I count in my head. But it's better if you just add a stitch marker in case somebody interrupts you when you lose the count, or your thought goes away. Okay, so I did here a couple of increases. You can do all the 8 increases and all the 4 increases, the 8 stitches. Once you finished, now what we are going to do is we will fold this trunk in half and we will crochet the sides together. So the first stitch and the last stitch are very near to each other, so it's a bit more rough to get it, but after that it's completely fine. So now here I'm crocheting the second stitch. You see, much easier to introduce the needle. And you'll work like this. So you have 8 stitches at the end of the round number 5. And for round number 6, what you're going to do is crochet those 2 sides together, closing the trunk. And for the trunk, you don't need to add stuffing material because the chenille yarn is already very fluffy enough and we don't want to make the trunk even larger. If you want, actually, if you add stuffing material here, you can make the shape of the trunk a little bit different. That's up to you. That's it. Trunk is ready. Now you can just cut this yarn, leave a little bit of room for sewing. And now let's start assembling this beautiful elephant, right? So it's very simple. You have 4 stitches in the trunk and you're gonna sew it with 4 stitches from the face, okay? The exact position that I'm sewing the trunk is written in the assembly part, and you can find that in the free written pattern on the website, okay? Here now, because I'm just seeing which place looks better, I cannot name you where is it, but in the free written pattern, you have all the details where I sew everything in this baby elephant amigurumi, okay? Where I sew the trunk, where you can embroider the eye, or if you're using safety eyes, where you can place them. So you find all the information in the pattern on the website, all right? The link is in the description below this video. And sewing this is a piece of cake. You see, it's just 4 stitches. Actually, sewing with chenille yarn is just a place in heaven. It's extremely easy, really. It's very good for beginners also. It's very beginner friendly, this chenille yarn. All right, the trunk is positioned. Now what we're going to do is we will take the beginning of the yarn and we will bring it together with the ending of the yarn from the body. Remember that we brought it outside. You bring it to the same stitch, outside of the same stitch. You give a simple knot, very tight one, and you just hide the remaining inside of the toy. This will secure that the elephant will remain secure, okay? All right, Remember what I told you, the difference between left and right ear? So that's why you're going to sew the right side of the ears, you know, on the elephant, and you're going to leave the double crochet hanging outside, okay? So here, again, the position, the exact position where I'm sewing the ears, you can find in the written pattern. But here you can see pretty much how I did. You will see the arms, and you're going to sew it a little bit from the middle to the back, okay? Going all the way down. And because our ending of the yarn is starting in the middle of the detail of the ear, we are going to sew it from down to up, all right? So you can see it. I will show you here pretty much how it's done. And here you can see, because it's very easy to see, you have the first round and the second round. You will sew between the second and the third. And we are going to go from down to up, okay? So here, let's see where we're going to catch that. Super good. So let's go here down, catch one stitch from the body, and you will catch one from the ear, okay? You just introduce your yarn, because here we don't have stitches on the side of the ear, on this part of the ear, right? But because we have rounds, so we can insert in between the rounds. And that's it. This is how you're going to work, going the way up. And here at the end, you'll see, I will show you. You will take inside the first stitch here in the corner of the ear. It's very simple. It's a small detail. It's a small baby elephant, actually. So to sew this it's so good. I usually don't like patterns that have too many sewing, but with chenille yarn, I really don't mind. It's super easy. All right, so we arrive here between the second and the third round. We introduce, you see, the sewing needle inside the first stitch, and now it's done. So you already sew everything. I'm gonna bring the beginning of this yarn here to the back of the head, and look at this. It's so nice to see it getting its shape, right? And you'll do the same with the leftover of the beginning of the yarn. You introduce this outside the same stitch there, give a simple knot, and that's it. And you will sew it the other ear as well, the same way. All right, once you're done, look at it, it's so beautiful. Even without face, it's already beautiful. I don't know, I'm biased, but... Okay, now to embroider the eye, I'm using a cotton sports weight yarn, and I like to embroider the faces of my toys, all right? If you're using the plastic eyes, you can find the exact position in the written pattern, all right? But if you're embroidering, it's very simple to do. So with the size of one stitch, what you're going to do is to make a lot of straight lines. So it's a bunch of repetition, and when you make a lot of straight lines, the shape will start to be a bit rounded, okay? And you can add as much as you want. Always remember to leave a little bit of room outside of the tail, outside of the yarn, because you're going to go back with that yarn to the same stitch and give a very tight knot to secure that this embroidery face will remain on its place, all right? So that's it. You keep doing your repetitions. You see how I'm doing here. I'm doing very slowly to show you, because I had a lot of difficulties, you know, when I start embroidering my face. So I just want to make sure that you get it right. And once you're done, once you achieve the shape you want, you move to the next one and you do the same thing, okay? Once you're done with the second eye, what I'm doing is eyebrow, one round above the eyes, one stitch to the side, and with the length of one stitch. Very simple, just one like this. It's enough to give this beautiful baby elephant a, you know, expression, like a face expression. And once again, you bring to the same stitch all the beginning and ending of the yarn, and you give a tight knot. You can cut that and hide the remaining inside of the toy. Now I use a white color of the same cotton sports weight yarn just to give some brightness to the eyes. I like to embroider on the side just 2 lines with the white. Okay, this gives, it doesn't show too much, but I think it makes a great difference. So just add that detail and it's going to be perfect. Once again, bring the remaining tail, the beginning and the ending of the tail that you're embroidering, the yarn that you're embroidering, give a tight knot and hide the remaining inside of the toy. Very simple. And this one, give a tight knot, you know, so it's, because it's just 2 lines on the side. If you don't give a tight knot, it will be like swimming around inside of the toy. So it can be a bit of room here and there. So that's just a small tip. And that's it. Here, your elephant, it's done. But I like to be a little bit more fun and add some hair tuft on the top, okay? And how you're going to do this is extremely simple. You just grab a small piece of the chenille yarn. I gave you some measure, some average measure that you can, you know, cut those pieces in the written pattern you can find. But it's very simple. You see, you just do it like that. And I like this hair tuft because I think it's fun and I think it looks nice. My husband, when he saw it, this baby elephant for the first time, he asked me why I added noodles on top of his head. But, well, I think it's beautiful noodles, so it's nice. Once you're done, I just added a round, the first round. Once you're done, you just groom a little bit, you cut on the nice size, and that's it. Look at this cute. This is so beautiful, right? I'm very happy how this baby elephant amigurumi turned out. I hope you enjoy this pattern. I hope you have fun crocheting this with me. And if you enjoy this pattern, take a look in my website. There is a bunch of free amigurumi patterns for you there. Majority of them have YouTube tutorial as well. And if you like to support my channel, the best thing you can do for me is leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Also, you can leave me a comment box below and let me know if you enjoy and if you had a good time crocheting together with me. I see you next week. Bye!